On today's video, it takes us to Liverpool. And with all the glory that Jurgen Klopp had during his time at Liverpool, there was a dark cloud hanging over Anfield. Who was going to be the successor? The master tactician, the genius of Arne. Before a ball was kicked under Arne, there really was a pessimistic feel since the departure of Klopp. The glory years, were they going to carry on? Absolutely they were. This guy has come in, completely changed how Liverpool play their football. They look good. They look sharp. The tactics on the field are absolutely superb. And currently sitting top of the Premier League, Arsenal, Man City, who are they? It doesn't matter. They've got a massive gap at the top of the table. They're playing some good stuff. I really think they can carry this fine form on and maybe even go on to a surprise league title. But anyway, on this video, we are going to be recreating the tactics of Arne Slot, coming away from that rock and roll football of Jurgen Klopp. Let's get into it now. Let's have a look at this setup. So Liverpool sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League table with a nice 5-point gap over Manchester City. So 11 games played, 21 goals scored, 6 conceded. It just shows you how they are so good this year, shutting teams out. On the ball retention side of things, under Slot, they are looking to retain possession a lot more. Be patient in their approach, patience in their build-up. But what you used to see from Jurgen Klopp, like we said, was rock and roll football, getting up the field as quick as possible, gung-ho, and a very aggressive gegenpress. But they've come away from that now, which I think will bode well for later on in the season, keeping players fresh, keeping players fitter, and maybe not have as many injuries. So that slower, more patient game is really going to suit Liverpool in the long run. More often than not, they do tend to opt for a 4-2-3-1. There has been a couple of occasions they've dropped into a 4-3-3 or even a 4-4-2. The game against Villa, both wing-backs still offering very much the same sort of thing they did under Klopp, looking to get forward at every opportunity. We know Robertson is about power, passion, and he's relentless in everything that he does. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, he gets forward. He'll even look to cut inside. He will find that ball. He'll thread the eye of the needle. And his distribution with the ball is absolutely second to none. So we want to keep our wing-backs on this setup, getting forward as much as physically possible. On the two centre-halves, Van Dijk and Konate, they are both very positive in what they do. Same as the wing-backs, they will look to dominate and get up towards that halfway line, penning in the opposition. So we're going to have a very high line on this Liverpool setup. In the centre of the midfield, we turn our attention to Gravenberch and McAllister, two absolutely unbelievable players. And for me, Gravenberch is definitely one of the players of the whole Premier League season so far. He's fantastic off the ball. He's got bags of energy to get round the field. In my opinion, a very underrated player indeed. But on this now, you will see how much ground they both cover in the middle of the park. They're both happy to get forward. They're both happy to sit in. But it's a real team effort. They're attacking, they're defending, and they're really showing up for the team week in, week out. So we're going to have a look at what we can do in the centre midfield with both of these. But one thing they do have in common, they are both superb with the ball at their feet. And in turn, retaining possession and dictating terms. With both Salah and Diaz in the wide areas, you know what you're getting from these. They're going to attack. Salah, more often than not, is going to look to stay in the forward positions and maybe even counter-attacks on at times. But Diaz has a little bit more of a defensive responsibility, and you do see that in games. He constantly gets back and helps his defence out as and when he needs to. So I think on the left-hand side, we'll have an inside forward support, and Salah will be on potentially an inside forward attacking role. Up next, Curtis Jones in that cam role. Recently played some really good football for the England international team. But what has he got in common with the rest of the players at the club? His ball retention, once again, is phenomenal. He gets around the field. He's great going forward. Offers you something getting back into defence as well. Bags and bags of flair. We're going to look to have him sitting in that cam role and distributing the ball out to the wingers and linking up play with the centre midfielders as well. Last but certainly not least brings us to Darwin Núñez. Very, very much a pressing forward, putting pressures on the defenders, forcing mistakes, forcing turnovers. But what can he do? He's absolutely clinical in front of goal. And he's having a good season. And I think we're going to see the very, very best of Núñez under Slot. So we kind of get a brief understanding there of how Liverpool are playing. And it's very, very different than what we've seen under Klopp. As we know, you Liverpool fans know better than anybody. But it's working. Slot's implemented his own setup, his own tactics. And it's working. Top of the league. You can't argue with it. Let's get over now to FM24 and we'll have a look at my interpretation of the Arne Slot masterclass at Liverpool. So guys, this is my interpretation of the Arne Slot setup at Liverpool. You can see straight away the tactical style is a custom control possession. That's what our game is all about now. Now we are in that 4-2-3-1. We've got a positive mentality. It's Liverpool. They want to play on the front foot. They want to get forward. They want to score goals. So I think it's only right and proper to stick to that sort of mentality. On the in possession, our attacking width is fairly wide. We're going to look to play the ball out of defence, whether it's to the centre-backs or the wing-backs. Either or, it doesn't matter. Wherever there is a little bit of space, we play into it and we build up nice and slowly. And that going very much hand in hand. Passing directness is shorter, tempo slightly slower, and we're always going to look to work the ball into box. Pass the ball around, keep it moving, and patiently wait for an opportunity to arise. And with the quality of players at our disposal, we want it to be a little bit more expressive. And you'll see why I've done that in a second when we have a look at the individual player roles on the field. When possession has been lost, we're still going to counter press. It's Liverpool. We want to win that ball back ASAP. Get it back under our spell and play the match on our terms. Now the goalkeeper in possession, we're going to distribute it to anywhere across the back line, as we already know, and we're only going to take short kicks. We don't want to go long. We don't want to relinquish possession to the opposition. Now on the out of possession, we have a high press from the attackers and the defensive line is higher. I wasn't going to press it up all the way because we want the option then to step up more, which we will see from the defensive lines. Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Konate and Van Dijk. When we do have possession, we're going to look to push that line then up to there and really pen the opposition in. So we'll just leave it there. It gives us a little bit of room to manoeuvre. And if there is any long balls over the top, we have the pace of Trent, the pace of Van Dijk and Robertson to get back and hopefully not concede too many goals. So on the individual player roles now, there is a few roles in here that don't really pair together. As you can see from the screen, we're actually playing a Libero and we've got two roaming playmakers there in the middle of the park. We'll have a look how that's going to work shortly. Whether it actually works as we go through the season-long simulation is a different story. But Alisson in goal, sweeper keeper, attack, no additional instructions. On the left-hand side, Robertson is a wing-back left on support. We don't want him going forward as much as you will see from Trent on the opposite side. So Robertson will be a little bit more reserved. But like we said, on the right-hand side, we've got Trent and he is wing-back attack. And we want him taking more risks, getting further forward and trying to find the pass, which we know he can do. But in the centre-halves, we've got a ball-playing defender on the right centre, which is Konate. No additional instructions. And then Van Dijk in this Libero role. Now, I've had this role done because I've watched them play. Once the ball is distributed out to the centre-backs, more often than not, it's Van Dijk. He will look to bring the ball out of defence, go forward, and he will be able to link up play a little bit better with our two roaming playmakers in the middle of the park. But it's all ifs and buts at the moment. Like I said, other people could look at this Liverpool tactic in real life and have a different interpretation of how they're playing. So just bear with me, guys. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I think. Let me know in the comments if you see anything different. Now, the two centre midfielders, something I've never done before. Like we said, I'm playing two roaming playmakers in the middle of that midfield. But hopefully, with Van Dijk pushing up a little bit further, he will offer us that bit of a defensive cover, if you will, in that gap there between midfield and defence, with Konate looking to sit in. But yeah, both roaming playmaker supports, nothing added to them. We can see how Liverpool control the ball, control the tempo and really dictate terms. And these two in particular linking up very, very well. Maybe they can do a little pass and move, bringing the ball forward. We'll see how this works. It could be atrocious, could end up getting absolutely bloody smashed to bits, but 2 roaming playmakers it is. On the left-hand side, brings us to Luis Diaz, inside forward support, and he's not on an attacking role like Salah. We want him getting back and helping Robertson defensively as well. But on the other side is Mo Salah. The only thing we're going to add onto him is roam for position. So he's inside forward attack, but we know Mo will drift centrally in. He will stay out wide right. He'll cut in. He'll get into the box, create himself as a bit of a second striker. So I want to see more of that from Salah over this save. In the cam role, we're going to opt for Curtis Jones on this simulation. We have got Szoboszlai. He can come in, but can also drop back in to the roaming playmaker position as well. So we'll see how Jones gets on. But he's attacking midfielder support. We want him taking more risks, and we want him roaming from position as well. We know he likes to drop a little bit deeper, link up with the midfielders, but not scared to get in the box or even out wide when need be. He's got the flair. He's got fantastic ball retention. He can find a pass. He can shoot. Really is a bit of an unsung hero for what he does at Liverpool. And last but certainly not least, brings us to Darwin Núñez, who is going to be leading the line for us over this season. Núñez, clinical in front of goal, puts himself about all across the field. He's aggressive in what he does, and he leads the line very, very well. He will move into the channels. He will link up play, creating space then for all the other attacking players coming in from behind him. But like I said, if a chance arises, he will take it. So we are going to do one season as a simulation. In the Premier League, they would like us to get into the Champions League places, semi-final in the FA Cup, quarter-final of the Champions League, and they don't really care about the Carabao Cup. So 2 roaming playmakers in the middle of the park. Is it going to work? We're going to find out shortly, but I can't stress enough, guys, don't get me wrong. This is my take. You guys could have a completely different opinion of how Liverpool set up and how they go about their business on the field. But let's see how my slot tactic recreation gets on. Is it going to work, or is it going to be an absolute disaster? 2 roaming playmakers, 1 Libero. Let's simulate it on. We're back at the end of the season simulation, and what a season it has been, claiming the Premier League trophy, getting 102 points off 38 games, winning the Carabao Cup and winning the Champions League against Real Madrid in the final. Unfortunately, going out in the quarter-final of the FA Cup to Crystal Palace, but 3 trophies, the Champions League, the League and a Carabao Cup in the Arne slot first season. Wow. On the player statistics at the end of the Premier League season, Salah, top goal scorer, beating Haaland, no easy thing to do. Salah, highest average rating. Gravenberch with 12 assists through the campaign, 23 clean sheets for Alisson. We know Arne Slot was running his possession at just under 60%, and we've matched that more or less with 57. So we're having our lion's share of possession. But what did we do with that possession when we had the ball? We smashed goals home for fun. Man City only got 66. We got 106 goals across 38 games, averaging 2.79 per game. With this setup, the chances created are absolutely unbelievable. 249 created. Passes completed, we're down in 6th. Not the worst in the world. We had 736 shots for, 322 of those on target, getting just under 20 shots per game. So really peppering the opposition goal. On the defensive side of things, joint first with Arsenal, only conceding 21 in 38 games. Now on some of the individual stats for the season, starting off with the roaming playmakers, McAllister and Gravenberch getting 31 assists between them. Salah, Jones, Diaz all chipping in with an absolute boatload of them as well. So the interchange from midfield into the attack was clean cut. We was ruthless and we were punishing the opposition. They just didn't know how to handle this setup. But a notable mention as well, let's take a look at Trent there. We wanted him getting forward more down that right-hand side, and he's got 18 assists. It's pretty much the same story for the amount of goals they've scored. Salah, Núñez, Diaz, all smashing it throughout the course of the season. But even once again, the roaming playmakers getting in with 19 for Gravenberch and 13 for McAllister. Deadly all over the field. What a season. 3 trophies in this Arne Slot setup. them two roaming playmakers in the middle of the park, really, really dominating. With that Libero coming out from the back as well, carrying the ball, dominating possession. We have found an absolutely dream setup. Let me know down below in the comments if there's anything you would have changed on this tactic, how you think Slot plays his football, how he sets up at Liverpool. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Until next time guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Peace out.